Hello guys and welcome to EPR. This is episode number 8 of the Formation Lap podcast. Basically today we're just going to talk about the track really. I'm your host Sam. I'm here with Cat named Minty as
Hello there.
always. And well, today we have Canada. A track which is it's kind of difficult for some and for others enjoy the hell out of it, so you know it's a difficult circuit. If I could just get the track facts up here without any annoying people messaging me all the time. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah,
there'll be 35 laps today, so relatively a lot of laps. The circuit length is 4.3 kilometers and the race length is 152.6 kilometers. There are 14 corners around this circuit, 5 to the left and 9 to the right. Is that correct? I don't know. That sounds pretty... I don't know. Anyway,
Well, I was counting, so...
Yeah, there was 56 gear changes in a lap. There are 3 DRS zones, 1 on the back straight, 1 on the start-finish straight, and obviously one on that weird straight. That's not really that long, it's not really a straight, but just at the end of Sector 2 going into Sector 3 really. Anyway, so the race lap record around here is a 1 minute 13.078, and the lap record is a 1 minute 10.240. Hopefully some guys can beat that today. And
they were both
19...
set in 2019. Sorry for calling in.
Okay, first held in 1961. The tyres we have are the C3s, the C4s, and the C5s. So, who you got your eye on?
Well, before that, I wanted, because I saw something interesting, that there's 56 gear changes here, and around like the longest circuit, Singapore, there was only 60. So I wanted to point that out.
That's a lot of gear changes for a circuit that really doesn't seem too demanding, does it, Canada?
Yeah.
I mean, many can argue, pretty much everyone can argue this is literally what you call basically penalty heaven, so you're expected to see quite a lot of time penalties because people cut the track, because it's almost impossible to escape the circuit without cutting the track, which is unfortunate, but you can't do anything more than that.
Yeah, I wonder how much qualifying laps will be screwed by that.
I wonder, because you've got all these people here. I'm just looking at the time trials right now, and a lot of people have improved recently. A lot of people have not improved recently, but have got good times in there. For example, Tim, he's got a 1 minute 7.6. He's the second fastest at the circuit according to time trial, only behind Tony Furs. These two, they haven't got a race win yet. So do you think any of these two could potentially surprise us? Maybe a little. Well, I wouldn't really call it surprising, but could any of these two win?
I think Tony could give us like a surprise here if he shows up. I know he's quite good around Canada. I race him around here, and
Thing is, though, these two have not set lap times in absolute ages. So especially Tim as well, all the way back on the 14th of August. So has he? Do you think he's improved at the circuit? Do you think he's lacked practice of the circuit and perhaps lost it a little bit? I mean, you do not know, do you? Really? Because
usually when you go back into time trial, you don't really lose a lot. I've seen, for example, I go back to like I don't know, September or something, and they try to improve, and I'm around the same pace.
Yeah, the one that I'm quite interested to look at is Dylan. He has decided, just like Singapore and just like pretty much every circuit, he's decided to sweat out lap times, and basically he's improved his lap by over a second. He's now 1 minute 7. He's now the 7th fastest on my friend list, 4th fastest I think in EPR. So that's hilarious in some sense, because he's come from nowhere to a slight chance of winning this race. But consistency, who's got consistency? Shush.
Who has consistency?
Who has shown that consistent edge every lap, every race? You reckon?
Plix.
Yeah, I'd say
and
Click
Super
does.
Guy.
Oh yeah, obviously shout out Super Guy, but he's only won one race, hasn't he? Or has he won two now? I cannot
One.
remember. He's won one, hasn't he? He almost won in
Yeah.
China, but
Well, you're saying he only
midnight.
won one,
He could have won
but
all of them at this point, couldn't he? Because I would say he's been unfortunate, but the drivers beside him, like Midnight, Dylan, and everything, they've all caught up to him, and he's done a bit of not really a bad sort of run of results because he has been finishing still on the podium, but in terms of getting that second race win this season, it's kind of unlikely he's going to get it. It's getting predictable that drivers are starting to catch up with him and get better than him.
kind like not throwing shade in real life, but like it's kind of like Vettel right now.
Maybe not
Everyone's,
like Vettel's. Vettel
but
is probably a bit too controversial if we were to call him a Vettel. I mean,
not
that would
like
be
because
Chapelele.
like a
So
lot of younger drivers or new drivers are catching up to him.
I'm very interested to see how Gavin does because Gavin this season he has not won a race, but he is second in the championship still. Like that's amazing, isn't it? How are you still second in a championship and you've not won a race? You're still you're still in tact for the title, even leading the championship out of Canada. And he is quicker than Super Guy, which is interesting. Also, I've heard that like Canada is more of a preferred track on wheel than it is on pad, which not gonna lie, I could kind of probably agree. Um, IMD has set a lap time recently as well. Plix has set a lap time all the way back in at the start of October. So not many people are setting lap times. Chapelele won't be with us today. Wolbieg, who has set a lap time, hopefully he can get some points because he had a bit of a disastrous start, didn't he, in Singapore? But if we look at where he was at Italy, he's the fastest man, well, except for Dylan, because Dylan's decided to sweat it again, as usual.
But
Anyway, yeah, carry on, sorry.
who's not coming? Chapelele.
I know that Chapelele is not coming, and I know that Ozone Heights or Gaming King is doubtful. That's the only ones I know that are not coming. I don't know if anyone else is or isn't coming though yet. I haven't got really official word of everyone, but hopefully we do get a few people coming. He was planning on deciding to rest up for the rest of the season, but I've decided to ask him if he races today, see how today's race goes, and just just stick with us for this race and see how the race goes, and then make a decision afterwards. Because this is, well, he did say it's his favourite track, but it's probably helpful that he stayed with us, which is good.
Yeah. What do you think of the overtaking opportunities around Canada?
There's quite a few, isn't there? I'm
Yeah.
really interested to see the hairpin onto the back straight. I really, really want to see
Oh,
some good
there's gonna
overtakes
be
on that.
dive bombs on the
I'm
first lap
hoping.
there.
I'm so hoping though that people keep it clean through the Wall of Champions or Champion of War. I don't understand
Oh no,
how that's English anyway.
I can tell you the backstory of the champion of all.
Or Wall of Champions, whatever. Go on.
So, well, it got the name Wall of Champions because there's like three champions. I forgot who it was. Schumacher and like two Wells who crashed out in the same race in
Yeah.
the Wall of Champions, and the champion of all was when Kubica, he was doing the track guide last year or this year, I can't remember. But instead of saying the Wall of Champions, he said champion of wall.
Oh, okay. So it's another Kubica thing. There's one thing we all
Oh,
know about. There's one thing we all should know about Minty, and that is he goes absolutely crazy. He talks about Kubica this, Kubica that. I don't mean to be a snitch or call you out or anything, but anyway.
says the person who talks about Russell every day.
Well, he's local, isn't he? No,
Well,
I don't talk about
Kubica
Russell
is
ever. Though.
local.
He's not really local, is he?
Yeah, he is.
But still, I don't talk about Russell all the time. But still, I do prefer Russell over Kubica. Anyway, on to our predictions then. So, first of all, I'm going to ask you, who's your pole position going to?
Would have said Chapelele.
would have
Would
said
have.
Chapelele, even though Chapelele is all the way on my friends list down in 17th. Believe that would roughly be around mid-table in terms of like some of the people. So
I have a feeling Tony underscore F1 Erst.
you just said Tony first. It's probably better to say that. I think everyone understands that the one is supposed to be an I. I mean, if you don't, then you're blind. But anyway, not to be. I apologise for being rude. Anyway, yeah. So you saying Tony's gonna get pole or anyone else?
Tony, and I know every time you mention Dylan, he gets.
I doubt it'll be Dylan this time. I really don't think he will.
I
I don't think
think
he'll get
because he
pole,
was
but
saying that the track limits were in quotation aids,
yeah.
then
Potentially, he could be
I
starting at the back. Then this could be interesting for some drivers because they're gonna put in. They're gonna literally be pushing to the limit, and you know, especially the World Champions, you're gonna go around that chicane. If you screw up, you're done for. I mean, you've only got really approximately 3 laps to do it in as well, and
maybe
obviously
4.
maybe 4 if you're lucky. But you've got to think the tyre choices as well and everything. What do you think the strategy is around Canada for you personally? What would you go in thinking?
Um, one stop medium hard, or else soft medium.
Ooh, that's a difficult one, isn't it, for strategy really? Because the 2-stop could probably be more beneficial than the 1-stop really, because like you said, Canada is such a track for penalties, and in my opinion, you probably want the more grippier tyres so you don't get that penalty. I mean, I know that probably makes no sense, but
Yeah,
if you've got more grip, there's more likely that you're not really going to, lose it or anything like off the track or slightly.
and of
Like if you're on the
course,
hards, if you're
I
on the
go on.
hards, you're on the hards. You go around the wall of champions. You're gonna be a little bit. You might be a little bit slidey and shaky going into there, depending on how much speed you're taking into there. It's really difficult.
Yeah, and but when you're on the softs, you also tend to push much harder.
Mm.
So then you'll probably make a mistake somewhere.
It's all about perfection with Canada, isn't it? It's not one of those tracks where you get away with this, you get away with that. It's really easy to screw up. It's really easy to get away. And oh my God, Leicester City are beating Arsenal 2-0. Woo-hoo. Anyway,
Um, I
I
would.
just needed to mention that. James Maddison scored as well, so
Okay, good to know.
anyway, good to know. Carrying
EPR
on.
FIFA.
Oh yeah, because that'll be a thing in the future. Because somehow that makes sense. Elite PlayStation Racing FIFA. All right. I mean, we could just call ourselves EPF, but that sounds strange. Anyway, back to what we were on about. For me, I really feel like pole position. I think it's gonna go to Tim. I'm. There's reasons why I think this. On time trial, he set this lap all the way back in August, and surely in a 3-month period, he's probably improved like lap by lap. And obviously, he's not set a lap time in a long time around Canada. You just don't know if he's been doing qualifying laps, like not doing time trial, because time trial actually is a poor alternative for now apparently. So he might just be, doing qualifying laps times, but I don't know. I really do back him to potentially get pole position here. I also think Tony and Midnight are in strong contention as well. I don't think Dylan cuts it really. He set that lap time of 1:07.9, but he said he hates Canada in quotations, and surely around that lap he's probably had a lot of bumps along the way, such as like getting invalidated lap times. I think Gavin could be in contention again, but I really have my eyes fixed on Tony, Tim, and Midnight, really.
Yeah.
On to the race then. So, who is your race winner for today? Who do you think it'll be?
I have a feeling the race winner will be Midnight.
Hmm. I
Because
think Midnight. Yeah, carry on.
because in my opinion, I see Canada as like a faster Canada, no, a faster Monaco kinda,
Oh, yeah.
because like the walls are
Maybe not
everywhere.
faster. Maybe
No,
not
you
faster
can
Monaco, in
you
my
can
opinion.
overtake, but just the walls. You can't really
Probably just
push too
probably
much.
say probably say Baku is more of like a faster Monaco, but I wouldn't really compare Canada to a faster Monaco. It's a similar track to probably like a Britain, maybe not Britain too much, but
And I'm getting the
um,
Monaco vibes just because of the walls.
to be fair, the walls in the World Champions does give you sort of that vibe.
And
Tightness, you've
out
got
of the
a
DRS
huge.
zones, they're also quite close. I know the one like the
Well,
weird
the
DRS
one,
zone, the second one. You
yeah,
go a bit wide there, you go on the grass, or you go on the curb and then hit the wall. As I get a voice
yeah.
crack.
Um, yeah. So, who do you think's your race winner then? Hold on, have you? Oh yeah, you've
In
already said,
midnight,
haven't you?
then second and third.
I'm just gonna say this now. Super Guy has just set a lap time, and he's beat Midnight by 5 tenths. So Super Guy is he's starting to come up. He's starting to go.
That puts us
That
perfectly into
is
P2.
alarming.
I wanted
That
to
is
say Super Guy.
alarming. Super Guy P2, and who's your P3 then?
I think it's gonna be an underdog. Unfortunately, not me. Um, Looking at the standings, think
Who's
it
this
could
underdog?
be a Tony or Plix. One of the Mercs.
One of the Mercs, yeah. I really do. I really do have faith in Tony for this Grand Prix. I hope he can win it because, not gonna lie and everything, he's a quick driver and he hasn't really shown too much of it. But today he really does have a chance to show what he's worth, and I hope he can get out there. I don't think Plix can get a podium, although he's quick. I think Plix will probably be outside the podium places. Um, I think Tony's going to win this race in the long run, and I think it's going to be Tony, Midnight, and Tim. I don't think Super Guy's going to finish. I think he's gonna bottle it. He's gonna do a Chapalele, and
Whoa.
I know this is a very, very, very dodgy prediction, but I don't think Super Guy's gonna finish this race. He's gonna do something onto the Wall of Champions.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
think he finished every race.
He has finished every race that he's participated in, yeah, but I don't know why. I sense it. I sense it coming. I don't know about you.
On to the fastest lap.
Yeah. So who you got for fastest lap then?
Well, Dylan is probably the obvious one.
You could argue, but he's really gotten fastest laps really technically because of his
Strategy.
what do you call it?
He just got
not really
like
his strategy,
softs
but
at the
like
end.
he goes on softs at the end when really there's not much to what do you call it? But I don't know if he will get the fastest lap. I think Tim will get the fastest lap. I think this track is going to be a very, very open one, and very one for some surprises. And I don't want to jinx it because whenever I've said something like this, it goes wrong. So I'm going to say Tim's going to get the fastest lap, even though he's probably going to end up not getting the fastest lap. And I do think Tim's going to have a relatively good race.
I think one of the Mercs will again.
Oh, the Mercs will. Ooh, which one?
Well, one of them. Probably Tony. Because he's
I don't
probably.
think he will get fastest lap. I think he could get the race win, but I don't think he'll get fastest lap. I'm gonna just look at the world where Tony is right now. It says he's 16th in the world. Do you really think anyone is? To be fair, I think he might get fastest lap, but do you think anyone could even challenge him for that fastest lap? Because he could just set a lap time and just be like, "Yeah, I'm off in the distance now." He's 2 seconds quicker than anyone else on this circuit. And I know this is only time trial data we're going off. Maybe in qualifying data it might be extremely different, but I just can't see anyone catching Tony today, in my opinion. If it just goes well.
Interesting. Of course, the lap cars are ghosted, so that's good.
Good for... It's a relief for everyone, really, because obviously we're in Season 1. There's going to be a bit of variation, isn't there, in
Yeah.
terms of driver ability. And actually about that, quickly, shall we talk about Season 2? Because we have not talked about it at all, and
We
I
kept it
think
like a
it's
little secret.
not really kept it as a little secret, but let's just have a quick conversation about it. So, what do you think about Season 2? What are we planning? I'm going to let you say this stuff
Oh
because...
god. Well, the obvious one, we're planning a second tier.
That's
course
probably been the most open...
Yeah.
pretty sure that's been the most open chat for us and the community in our league. Is to open a second tier. With that, we probably need to focus on a bunch of quicker drivers, a bunch of slower drivers. We need to focus on getting them in, getting them sorted, etc. So that's that sort of thing. We don't really have much other than that, too much planned. There are a bunch of rule changes and a bunch of rule additions that will be announced within the coming weeks. That includes maybe something to do with a pit stop thing that we probably want to test a little bit. It'll probably be something for pre-season which we'll test to see how it works, and obviously the change in the penalty system. So that is if quali bans, race bans, etc. for certain things that will be looked into, and hopefully that will be changed, and there'll be more of a database-like system with that in the further future. Despite that, we don't have too many things planned, I guess. I mean, the major one is a second tier, and obviously that would be there will obviously be new admins joining the team to run that division and make sure everyone is happy in that division.
We have
so...
kind of talked about the calendar by ourselves.
Oh yeah, and the calendar, well, it's pretty obvious because we made the calendar for this season. We only made it 12 races because we just wanted to experiment with this league, since we are a new league, and not gonna lie, we were not really planning to do any of this at all. So we just took it as a little experiment. We took it onto our wing and just made it maybe a small calendar first, just to see how the first season goes. And let's be honest, the first season has gone exponentially well. So next season will be hopefully it will be a longer season, and hopefully there'll be more excitement from the races.
Well, we have seen excitement from the races.
Maybe Singapore is a bit of a bummer. That was probably the worst race of the
Well, it
season
is
so far.
Singapore. Let's be honest. It's a street circuit.
Singapore. It's not one of those circuits which you
Unless
go and say,
you
oh, yeah, this is gonna be
dive
absolutely
bomb
amazing.
from a mile away like Kvyat did, you won't get an overtake done.
Yeah. Well, hopefully today we don't have a similar situation in Singapore, because there was humongous gaps. And not gonna lie, there was also a lot of penalties, not penalties, just incidents and penalties given out. And I think I've just realised, I think Tim actually has a quali ban, doesn't he?
We would have to check that, because
Sure.
I'm not sure myself.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does he? Actually, that's just come to mind. I don't know why, but I feel like someone said about a quali ban for Tim. It'd be a huge blow for him, but I don't know. If I keep going back, Okay, no, he has not been given a quali ban. He has been he had his points taken off, and that's what it was. There's also a new rule, a minor rule change that we added. People who retire will no longer be able to eligibly get points. So say there's only 6 races left, which obviously will look bad for us, but say if that's the case or something happens, etc., then only those 6 drivers will receive points respectively for their positions. So you've got to finish the race basically to receive your points if you still are waiting. Anyway, so this has probably taken us a long time, hasn't it? We've
Yeah.
probably been standing here for absolute years. So we're probably gonna end this here. It's better. I'd say it's better. What do you call it? Wasn't it? It's a better podcast
Yeah.
than last week. Last week was a bit of a disaster. I'm not gonna lie. Everything was seemed a bit rushed.
Well, the
Which is
start
fun.
was just
Yeah,
we were laughing every second.
every second. Yeah, we really need to make a video of bloopers, don't we? We really do.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot, trust me. It's not as easy as you think to do podcasts like this and remain focused, especially when you're not really used to that sort of environment. Anyway, so we're going to cap it off here. I've been Sam, and he's been.
Cat named Minty, I guess.
Yeah. And we'll see you for the race tonight.